Trade talks with China are hitting a hurdle with negotiations on farm purchases. Let's bring in Jeffrey Kleintop. He is the chief global strategist at Charles Schwab. Jeffrey, we heard Scott Gamm on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange a short time ago saying that, look, we were looking at the highs, record highs for the Dow, and he saw it quickly turn sour after we started to get these headlines from the Wall Street Journal. A few days ago, it was about the tariff rollback. Now we're talking about reportedly the Chinese not feeling so comfortable with putting a number on the ag purchases. How do you read into these developments in the context of the markets?
Wow, the devil's in the details with these trade agreements, that's for sure. And so even though there's kind of an agreement in principle around this sort of phase one deal, it's hard getting that last mile done, and it's incredibly important. Remember, this year's gains you could attribute to the Fed. Central bankers around the world cutting interest rates really lifted stocks in an environment of the economy slowing, trade slowing, and earnings slowing. Now the stock market needs a new catalyst, a new hero, if you will. That needs to be a trade deal, maybe fiscal stimulus, but we certainly don't have either coming underway in a material way right now, and that probably keeps stocks with a lid on them for right now, given so much uncertainty around trade.
And Jeffrey, you know, we've talked so much about sort of this optimism that has come from at least the president several weeks ago coming out and saying there's going to be a phase one trade deal signed. You know, when you start to hear these details, it's sort of the reality sinking in is that nothing has been put to paper just yet. You think the market maybe got out ahead of itself on this, and maybe investors are overlooking the risk of no deal?
Yeah, the market is certainly priced in movement towards a deal of some kind. You can probably see that most clearly in the incredible rally we've seen in emerging market stocks. They're the most trade-sensitive stocks of anywhere in the markets, moving to the upside more dramatically than the rest of the world, than the U.S., for example, and to the downside when we see these hopes reaffirmed and then dashed. Again, this time I think we are vulnerable to a pullback here, probably most notably in those EM stocks that are up double digits since their recent lows, as it looked like a phase one deal was coming into play. So certainly there is some risk here if it doesn't happen. Also, you know, we've got this EU-US auto tariffs situation coming to a head. We've got more the December 15th tariffs coming up. So there's a lot going on in the next 4 weeks here around tariffs. So it is kind of coming to a critical point for the markets. And I'm afraid if we don't see further progress, a pullback is likely.
Hey investors, Zach Guzman here. Are you interested in learning more about the markets and getting the latest financial news? Well, then click right here to subscribe to our Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. Get the latest up-to-the-minute market analysis, big interviews in the world of finance, and information on how to manage your money every day wherever you are.